Well, I want to talk about Lucas. Lucas, Texas.
I love me some Lucas, Texas.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of out in that direction. Do you consider yourself? I don't. I mean, you're not. Do you tell people where you live? I forgot.
Let me say this. I don't live in Lucas.
That's why I said it.
But I really, really like it.
Okay, he really likes it. It's just a total little gem in northeast.
Northeast.
Why are you holding your head? Do you ever get your right and left confused?
No.
Oh, of
I'm
course.
42 years old.
Okay, it's got a lot of space.
So old.
Think acre lots. Okay. Horse friendly. I mean,
Absolutely.
people.
The way that I take my kids to school, we go up that way. We go by 20 horse properties, but most days I won't say names or whatever, but there's two places that train horses, right? Like you're talking our friends from California that move here and they're like, y'all ride your horses to school? Yeah. These people often do. So we often see probably once or twice a week someone riding a horse down the side of the road. Sure. And then almost every time we're there's an arena where they're breaking and training and like specifically training horses for certain skills. And my girls love it. My son usually doesn't look up from his book. But the point is, Lucas is exactly what you just said.
It's not a reason to move here, but something I find incredibly charming about DFW is the way everybody's still wearing boots. Yeah. Boots and jeans.
I can't get my leg up that high, but if you're on the podcast, you might have seen it.
Not me. Sneakers.
We're still doing the horse thing around here, and I just love it.
Let me say this loud and clear.
Say it.
I am so proud to be from Texas that it feels sad to not be from Texas. Now, there's the old joke of like, I'm not from Texas, but I got here as fast as I could. I think that's real. Mm-hmm. There are people that are like, hey, I'm here for business. That's fine. Like we're not any better than anybody else. But I mean, the state is better than the other states. But the point is,
it's bigger.
Lucas has got that vibe, right? Now, if you're like, I'm not moving out there to ride horses, well, go check out a couple of the master plan communities in Lucas.
Yeah.
Where you're still going to get probably a half acre more big, beautiful homes. And you don't at all have to feel like a country boy or cowgirl or whatever. But you're basically talking about a small community that has been so very deliberately run and managed that it is mostly homes. You don't see a lot of shopping centers. You don't see a lot of gas stations. If anything, it is deliberately a little bit inconvenient that if you live there, you might have to drive 10 minutes to Plano or McKinney or
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's got this, you're away from it all, but still accessible, like just 15, 20 minutes from Plano, Allen.
It's what a lot of developers or master planners or like city planners would call a bedroom community where they are deliberate. They just want to be where people live.
That sounds nice.
It's very nice. And it's not cheap, but it's also not always completely outrageous. So, you get into Lucas, you're very fortunate to get into anything with a 4 in the front, 400,000. And then you can certainly get up into the multiples of millions. But that sweet spot in the middle is in that like $500,000 to $800,000 area where you're probably looking at a 4 or 5 bedroom, larger home, larger lot with lots of beauty near you. There's still some wooded areas. There's still some cornfields out there and some row crops being planted. A lot of that is converting to bedrooms now. A lot of that's converting to homes. But it's still very much on the edge of things.
How does it compare to Parker? Because it's just right above it.
Yeah, if you were driving through them, you wouldn't be like, oh, we've switched from Parker to Lucas. They both feel very, bedroom community, large lot, suburban, if not a little kind of used to be rural. But Lucas has Lovejoy ISD, which is just unbelievably highly regarded by people all over the Metroplex. A lot of people are moving there for the school district. Some desirable private schools in the area as well. On the edge without being way out, some of the real benefit of Lucas for sure. It's going through that growth phase of it is no longer the little bitty community on the edge. Like the roads are being expanded, new water mains, new power lines. So we're no longer itty bitty Lucas. It's now kind of growing, highly desirable family community of Lucas.
Parker used to be, it had to be an acre, 2.
Used to have to be 2. Still a lot, if not most, are 2, but there have been some exceptions.
Well, is Lucas that way?
Lucas is not that way. There are some quarter-acre lots. Again, most of the neighborhoods in Lucas are absolutely gorgeous, meaning larger, very pretty, certainly leaning like many of them are in the last 20 years. But then you find these really cool pockets of homes that were built in the 60s and 70s that are ranch style brick, more traditional Dallas style. But those tend to be the 3, 4, 5 acre lots, some rolling elevations, some really cool water features. You're not at all far from Lavon Lake to the east of Lucas. You're getting up north to where you're bordering Allen, you're bordering Parker, you're bordering Wiley, you're very close to kind of McKinney Princeton on the northern end. On the southern end, you're not at all far from Murphy or Saxe or Wiley. You're really not that far east of 75 Central. It's accessible to a lot of things, but it is north and east. People absolutely love Lucas. It's one of those places that a lot of people really dream about. But for some people, it's kind of out of their reach from a cost perspective. It's one of those places you might say, hey, that might be our second or third home.
I was going to say it's not a starter home spot.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the means, it's an incredible family growth starter home place. But for most people, it's that second or third or forever home because they like the size, they like the schools, they like the pace of the community, they like the quiet, they like the beauty. And like you said, if Lucas doesn't have something, and there's a lot of things it doesn't have by design, like huge movie theaters and shopping malls and all that, there is one of those things within 15 minutes, most directions, usually west or south, but certainly you could go north or east as well. But Lucas is an incredible place to live. There's not a whole lot of like, oh, we're visiting Lucas. Again, by design, they want people who live there to enjoy living there and for it not to really be a high traffic destination. It's just kind of the design. There have been some small fights from like a city planning perspective of like, do we want to allow that property to be developed for that? They really want to keep it for their community, not to draw a bunch of folks.
Yeah, I feel very interested in how what they're committed to, the vision of
bedroom community.
Growing and...
Yep. Not looking to be a big booming commercial metropolis, but wanting to resource.
Are there master plan areas?
It depends on what you mean by master plan. A lot of people, they hear master plan and they think like mixed use development, and there's almost none of that.
Okay.
There's a Walmart, there's a Wendy's, there's a Starbucks, there's a few other things like that over there. But no, you're not seeing that like public transportation and retail on the bottom and residential up top. There's virtually none of that. You've got single family homes on single family lots, very few apartments. You've got larger lots on average, higher, price points on average, and still some room to grow. Like I said, you still have some farm and ranch areas. You have a lot of horses. You have chickens. You've got people raising goats, but it's not 100 acres of that anymore. It's the last 22 acres of that and the 6 acre lot and the 2 acre lot. There are some beautiful planned communities, meaning developed by a developer with 1,200 houses and 4 or 5 different builders in there. There's a lot of custom built homes out there. My favorites are the older communities where every house is different and there's some rolling hills and the lots are all different shapes. But if you want 1,000 neighbors for the kids to play with out in the street, there's that too. Those are new. Those are nice. The community center out there is great, but it is not their desire for you to go there and spend a lot of time there if you don't live there. And that's not in an ugly way. That's because Lucas is an awesome place to live.